This is Kimberly K. LaBoo, the CEO and founder of LaBoo Publishing Enterprise. Welcome back for another episode of the Author Chat series. We are interviewing self-published authors who have agreed to come and share their journey of self-publishing in hopes that they may inspire others to take the leap of faith to publish their own masterpiece. So welcome back, guys. Our special guest today is Audrye Arbe. She has achieved #1 international bestseller on Kindle, as well as being an award-winning author, artist, TV producer, host, and speaker. She is the author of Raising Race Consciousness. Welcome to the broadcast, Audrye.
Thank you so much, Kimberly, and I really appreciate this opportunity. I have 4 books out. The latest one is Raising Race Consciousness. So yeah, I'm glad to be able to speak with people.
Awesome.
Thanks.
So there were several things that stuck out in your book, and I'm just gonna go through the ones that stood out for me and just laying this backdrop, and then we'll get right into our questions and just have a ball with this interview, okay?
Absolutely.
So in Raising Race Consciousness, the first thing I noticed in your book was when you talked about the fact that the Civil Rights Act was passed when you were just in the 6th grade. And you said, I cried because I hadn't known that Black and white people were treated differently. You had tears of sorrow and upset, and you were aghast at this knowledge. It says you also cried because your country had passed a law to rectify this. You had tears of joy and relief. Everyone you knew was white, and that was your background. So then you also talked about the fact that you are the mother of a biracial daughter. Of course, you're white, and your former spouse is Black. And then you said in USA Today, we're opening up this huge diversity that abounds in the mixtures of people. And then you talked about the fact that when you moved to big city New York, that was when you discovered people of many complexions, rhythms, behaviors, cultures, foods, and other beautiful aspects. And then you also shared with us that in grade school, you had already developed a mind of your own because you felt that adults you encountered often made little sense. And that can sort of be said for today as well. So when you thought to pin the title, Raising Race Consciousness, did you have to find the courage to write the book, or do you feel like you have always been one to be aware of or willing to challenge social norms and injustices?
I've always had my own unique mind. I am. I mean, I'm born that way. I'm a born mystic intuitive. I'm given information regularly. I'm guided. I feel we all are. Maybe some of us hear it more. This was not my first book. Okay. And when I first thought to write it, it probably was quite a while ago. It could have been because I was born in Brooklyn, raised on Long Island, created my own life when I graduated from college, which is when I moved into the city. And for anyone who doesn't know what it means, when a New Yorker says the city, it means Manhattan. Anything else is not quite irrelevant, but it's a New York thing. I mean, now I live in Florida. Anyway, I was going to do a seminar, and I remember my daughter was a tiny tot. So that seminar was called Raising Race Consciousness, and that was 30 years ago, shall we say, just about. So I wrote it up, and then I looked to get people to come. And this was the response I got. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. And I saw that it was very needed. I've known that for many years. And the whole book is Raising Race Consciousness, Healing Racism, Sexism, and Other Isms. This is a multi-purpose book. Yeah. And when I did sit down to write this book, after having written The Mother's Manual, A Spiritual and Practical Guide to Child Rearing and Motherhood, that's the big book. And then really a big book. And then What If You Are and Life is Miraculous, my ABC affirmation art coloring book. That's the one printed on 100% post-consumer recycled paper. The others, oh yeah. The others are either Kindle or PDFs. And then the third book, Vim, Vigor, Vitality, Vegan, which tells you my lifestyle. Blessing Natchez Kangam. So I knew it was time for this next book. And I know what the next two are also. So did it take courage? What I learned, and this is good for any writer to know, when I wrote my first book, I had to be at peace with myself, because who knew who was going to ask me what?
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of whatevers to be at peace with. So when I sat down to write Raising Race Consciousness, I still had some of the notes from back on the seminar I had done. I updated them because it was a while ago, but the material was still relevant.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point in my life, let's just say that I have a certain kind of spiritual courage that I did not have when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I call people, you read the book Black, Brown, Beige? Because to me, it isn't black and white. I look at someone and I see right there, and I call it the way I see it, because that's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
Good
truth
deal.
to me. And all of us are amazing. We're all from the same creator. We're even things I don't like Crawley, like things I'm not, bleh, okay? We're all made from source, whatever you want to call it, God, Goddess, Great Spirit, Jehovah, Yahweh, Allah, whatever. We're all slightly different, which is cool or kind of boring. So it didn't, well, I think, so it didn't take courage so much to write it. I write because I'm here to make a difference in the world, to shift consciousness. I'm a little kid, and this was obviously needed,
Yeah.
clearly, beyond words needed, all
Mm-hmm.
the isms.
Mm-hmm.
And if we want to step into the new paradigm, which really means freedom from the old, we have to heal all the junk,
Mm-hmm.
or there's no stepping into the living freedom and the
Yeah.
love that we are.
So thank
Yeah.
you. So I noticed that it looked like you interviewed numerous people during the course of writing the book. So
I did.
how long did it actually take you to write the book?
Oh my God. Well, how do we figure that? Because some of it was written, some pieces of it, like the book has a seminar woven throughout the whole book.
Ah.
And part of that was written when I first did my seminar. I took some of it, updated it, and I do seminars.
Uh-huh.
So from the very beginning of putting this book together, let me think. I was in a course called Essence of Being with Birch Smith Lyons, who I recommend as a healer, and I'm a healer. So for me to recommend someone, they have to be really good. I'm serious, because I'm high level. Less than a year.
Oh.
Less than a year. But then the book had to be edited. So for people who are writing books, please expect to have your book edited. And
Absolutely.
you're not the one who's going to, you may do the first preliminary edit, that I definitely recommend. And if you know grammar, put it in. I mean, I'm a former English teacher and newspaper editor and magazine editor. I know the language. Not everyone does. So that I never needed to be edited for grammar. That I've got. Extra words. And I wanted it smaller than my first book. So I found an editor through other people,
Mm-hmm.
and Sean, and I told her I wanted it to be a certain amount of pages. So she had to cut it down to that amount of pages. Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
I wanted it to have an index, so people could have an index, and then it can be used at schools and things of that nature, or be put in a library.
Yeah.
And so a good, and then with the editing and all of that, over a year, definitely over a year.
Okay. Yeah, editing is so super important. I tell people all the time, I believe that two things that you cannot skimp on in this whole book writing process is your cover design and your editing. Those are major, major things, and it's especially the editing, because really you can turn a reader off quick if your book is full of errors, if it doesn't flow right, all of those things. So editing is not something that you can skip, and I agree that editing is not something that you can do yourself.
Yeah.
Like
you can edit someone else's stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, first run, yeah, but that you have to have a professional editor to edit your work. It's worth the money. You may think it's expensive, it's worth the money. And especially if you plan on writing multiple books, because if your first book is junk, nobody's going to read anything else you put out.
No.
So go ahead.
Go ahead. The other thing is, I'm an artist. And like anyone else, if things don't look right, even people who don't think they're an artist, or they think they don't notice things, if something doesn't have the right look and the right feel, people aren't going to look at it.
Right.
There are people, I know people who can touch something. I'm one of them, and they already know if it's got good content or if it looks good. So be prepared, writers, that you will have to spend some money for an editor.
Yes.
I usually have a graphic designer. And I usually have my art in a book. So it has to really, this one, because I did have a way former background in creating layouts, I did my own layouts, and I know fonts and all that stuff, but I know how to do this.
Right. If you know how to do it.
I've done it professionally. Okay.
Yeah,
and so I did simple layout, and the cover here. This is printout of the book. Can you see it?
Yes. Oh, there you go.
Kudos to the amazing Sheila Marie Roulac. Everybody knows her on social media as Sheila Marie. She is one of my clients, and bless her, she recommends me. She designed the cover.
Awesome.
Now, do you think I said yes to the first design? It took a few different designs, and I'm saying that slowly and sweetly, till we hit on this one. And this was the winner. I also interviewed Sheila. I interviewed 7 different people that could be like a piece of gay people, straight people, Black people, mixed race people, white people, male people, female people.
Yeah.
Get their different perspectives, different religion people.
Yeah, you had to, and to be able to tell this full story. So I commend you on that. So I would imagine that this book title would open up many opportunities for you to speak in different platforms. So how have you been able to use the book since its release?
I have done some speaking engagements. I intend to do a whole lot more. It's brought me to the Boys and Girls Club of Broward County. It's brought me to other organizations. And what I've done, because this is part of what I do, I've made, I called it the RRC, that's Raising Race Consciousness 2018 seminars. So I did a new seminar every 2 months. So it started January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Each one is different, and each one stands alone, as well as builds to the, I can tell the seminars are, no, that's not it. The seminars started with how isms affect you and all of us without your knowing. Second was clearing ourselves and others of isms. Enhanced freedom. Third one is taking clarity into our lives. Who can we be now? Fourth one is bringing clarity into the world, or to the world. What is our ideal world? Fifth one is creating the new epoch. We are born creators. And the completion one, and again, it stands alone. Also, where do we go from here? Peace, miracles, and newness. Because my premise, I'm doing these. And if people are interested, contact me. And, I'll tell you this, if anyone who contacts me for any of my work mentions that they saw me through Kamoli, You'll get a special price. I will gift you that.
Uh,
And yeah, because to me, with all the isms, it starts with self-love, soul. We're made of love. We are love. Not everybody remembers. It takes something, whether we call it soul love or an ego love, they're different. If someone doesn't have that, all the isms grow. They can. When someone truly loves themselves and their connection to the infinite, however you call it, and we all have different ways, and I teach that. And do I practice it? Yes, I do.
cool.
Then we won't have it. So my reason for writing this is to clear this as much as possible so that we really live in the amazing world of our heart and soul. I have grandchildren. I
Yeah.
want them to flourish. My daughter, do I even need to say how much I choose for her to flourish?
Yeah.
And everyone else. But those particular people, especially. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's the
Absolutely.
truth. And everyone else too. But them,
Yeah. I
are
understand
you a
that.
mom?
Children
Yeah,
myself. So I have
yeah.
two. So yes, I definitely understand that. And I was talking earlier this week about how good it is to see them doing well. And that's what we
Yeah,
want as parents, for them to be as happy as they can be, and
yes.
live,
And
beautiful lives as well.
exactly, fully fulfilled, going beyond.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm taking this to another level. I'm starting my first online, this is interesting. I'm going to be doing my first online course called
Awesome.
Morphing into the Magic of Self-Love, capital S, little S-E-L-F, spirit and our essence self and our ego self, because we all need it.
That's awesome.
We
I
all,
always talk about writing and how it's not just about writing a book. And so I always like to touch on where, that leads to everything else, or leads to a lot of
Mhm,
other things. So it's great to
mhm.
see that you have so many different platforms that have spun off your writing. And it's great for our viewers to see that as well, that it's not just about writing a book. It can turn into so many different things and be used in so many different types of platforms. So my next question to you is, what difficulties, if any, did you face in your journey of becoming an author?
Oh, God. If any. All right. First is the discipline to sit down and write.
Huge.
The first one, that was it. That's the very first is I'm going to write a book. I'm really good. So first was really having some level of self-confidence to actually sit down and write a book.
Yeah.
And that was the first, was the mother's manual. So what I did was I set myself a task, one that required discipline, but wouldn't be like overwhelming that I would already be setting myself up to fail. And what that was I was going to write for 2 hours a day during the week, not on weekends, not on holidays. And after that, I didn't have to write. But I
Oh.
did have to write those 2 hours. And
Mm.
what happened is the 2 hours would often morph into something more because I'd be into it. On a rare occasion, I missed a day, which was not a good thing. I didn't feel right, and I made it up the next day immediately.
Nice.
So yeah, it was to sit down and actually write and not read it right away. Just
That's
keep
a big
right. Oh no, yes, no. I read it right away, it was like, I have to fix. Is to get it out.
one.
And
Exactly.
because I'm a born intuitive, it comes. Plus, which my prayer and my lifting process, so it really comes through me. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not me, it's higher self and me. Believe me, those processes, that's not from this ego. It's from the higher self that comes through and the spiritual guides. Anyway, and then I wrote down what I wanted to cover. And then at a certain point, I asked people, what would you want to see in a book like this?
Important.
Okay. Yeah. And I thought, okay, I've got that. I've got that. The other thing was money. I wanted all my books in print. I still do. but because I only print on 100% post-consumer recycled paper, and that's way more money, I can tell you now, still, than regular paper.
Yeah.
I'm very ecological, have been for many, many, many years. And when I learned the cost to our planet of using paper that's less than that, because part of what's causing global warming, believe it or not, how we use paper, I couldn't do it. So figuring out, do you want me to read you the stats?
No. I have a question here from one of our viewers, and she wants to know, how did you write? Did you write, handwritten, or did you type it on a computer, voice recorder? How did you write?
Okay. Well, these days I write into the computer. When I did the mother's manual, I first did by handwriting. I have it was 30 years ago. This was a while ago. No. The mother's manual. No, that wasn't 30 years ago. When did I write that? That was, wait, let me do some 17 years ago.
Okay.
That was 17 years ago. And at the beginning, I wrote it by hand. Now I write straight into in Word.
Computer.
Now and then it might be in a notebook if I don't have my computer with me when I'm writing. It goes right back into the computer.
Right. Okay, great. So we're winding down. So I want to ask you, what advice would you give to others who want to write on a seemingly controversial topic, or something that they really feel passionate about?
Know where you stand. Don't be stuck. You need to be open. Know that whatever you're writing about, and this I counsel for everyone, it needs to be for your highest good, the highest good for all concerned, and the highest good of the universe, with free will and free choice for all concerned. And if it's really from your heart and soul, not just your ego, because that's not going to work, then really sit down and write, and take every kind of seminar you can take on personal growth. And I give some. Oh, absolutely. You can't do this without that. You can't. It'll be too low level. On personal growth, so that higher vibration, which needs to come from inside, is in the book.
Okay.
Because that, in my thing, this is all my opinion, that is what's going to catalyze people's growth.
True.
And sit there and do it. And the other thing is, not everyone's going to like who you are. Not everyone's going to like what you write. Be prepared for that. Some people will say things that don't even make any sense. Don't take it personally. Learn what you need to from each piece. Bring your heart, write from passion. If you're not passionate about something, as far as I'm concerned, don't even start.
Don't start. Yeah. Okay. That's great advice.
Can I give a website?
Absolutely. So that was my next question to you, to tell our viewers where they can purchase your books and how they can connect with you.
Okay, you can get my book directly from me and or my website, and that's Audrye Now, AudryeNow.com, and you'll see some of my art and that I'm a clairvoyant and the seminars I do and stuff like that. And you can reach me, I'll give you two numbers, at 561-717-9965. That's 561-717-9965. I think I'll only give that one. And you could email me and write Kamoli or something, because I get a lot of emails, at Audrye Now, ADRYENOW@gmail.com.
Awesome. Awesome.
Email. That's my name on that's my, what do you call it, my YouTube also.
On all your social media. Okay. So thank you so much. This has been great. We had to push through, to get technology to work for us. So I'm so glad that it worked out, that we finally made it. So thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be a part of our author chat series and to share with our viewing audience your journey of self-publishing. So thank you so much, Audrey.
Thank you, everybody. Go for it.
Amen.
All right, thank you, Kamola. You're a gift.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So again, guys, this is Kimberly K. LaBoo, CEO and founder of LaBoo Publishing Enterprise. Thank you so much for joining us for another segment of the LPE Author Chat Series. Join us again tomorrow where we'll have more interviews for you with other great authors in the segment. Take care and be blessed, guys. Bye-bye.